Hi guys. welcome to Charity's Bubble. I'm going for my second day for my interview. I'm going for my second day. Yesterday went well, but then I was like, I'm gonna do a video. Thank you for coming back and watching my videos, guys. My name is Charity Nganga, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. Yeah, I'm at the crossroad here. I just wanna go. I have to be there at 10. It's 9:43, so I still have time. I have to drive for 12 minutes. So, where did we stop and where did we start? Now, I know the day is coming, it's closing in. So let's see some of there was this question that I want to talk about this lady. She reached out to me. She said that she wanted how she can contact me. If you want to contact me, go to my Facebook page at Charity Nganga, or at Charity's Bubble fan page and message me there. If you message me there, I'm going to reply to your message. That's how I do my communications with people. Now, I also want to talk about this other person. Remember, this is Charity's Bubble USA. If you haven't subscribed, kindly consider subscribing. It's so sunny, guys. It's so sunny. Yeah, and I have to drive for like 10-12 minutes. So she was saying that and she didn't specify, but I want to talk about it like it's a DV lottery, because she's coming on and I believe like she has her visa. No, she doesn't have her visa yet, but she is going to her interview. And the question was, if she writes on the DS-260, I believe, that she's gonna come back for her family after 2 years. If she writes that, if that's gonna work. Now, the DV lottery has got a set of rules, and you always have to go back to travel.state.gov and see and read and also watch videos, because I've done so many videos about this content, whereby you should be aware of the rules and the regulations, because winning the DV lottery doesn't mean that you're gonna be given a visa to come to the US. There are some things that you have to do. You have to give your transcripts. You have to do a background check, make sure that you don't have any criminal background or whatever. They always have to look that especially when you did your application, did you include your family? They also want to look at after you did your DV lottery, did you add people there? Did you add people? Unless it's a life change, maybe you had a baby, a new baby. Did you add people after you had found out that you had won your DV lottery? Did you add someone who was a boyfriend, who was not married to you, or did you had omitted them when you were doing your application? Those are some of the things that come into factor when you are looking at the DV lottery. So the question was, she wants to fill out that she's gonna come back for her family after 2 years. Now that one cannot work, because normally what happens is that when you fill out your DS-260, you post it, they send you a 2NL, they tell you to go for your medical, they tell you to go for your interview, you get a visa. And before you go for your interview, they have looked at your DS-260, because your DS-260 tells about your information. And there's a question that asks, are you going to travel by yourself and then you're going to come back for your family? And you have that indication there when your family should come back. But there is a limit, because when you get your visa, it has a 6-month expiry. That visa that you get at that time is before 6 months. Everybody who was your derivative, a derivative is that if let's assume it's the husband who won, the wife, the kids, they are derivatives. If the wife who won, the husband and the kids are derivatives. And when you get your DV lottery, what happens is that when you get your green card or your number, the number that they give you, the person who won is DV1, the spouse is DV2, and the kids, depending on their ages, is DV3, DV4, whatever, however number you have for your family members. So let's assume DV1 wants to come in. They got their visa in February, and so when you count February, so March, April, May, June, July. So by July, everybody should be in the US, regardless of what. So when you talk about 2 years, that means that, so she was saying that she wants to file for them in 2 years. And I would like her to like kind of elaborate and say what kind of visa that is, because DV lottery is very different from all other visas. It's very, very different. It does have its own, and it has its own rules. It has its own regulations that people have to follow. But at the same time, there is these time frames, these deadlines that you have to meet. So how I can answer that question to that particular person is to tell her that the day that she gets the visa with her family, because she has to go to the embassy and everything with the family members, because it's a family thing, you know, it's a family thing that you have to do, because they are deriving the whatever from you. You can only stay, they can only stay out of US for like just 6 months, less than 6 months, and before the visa expires in 6 months, then they are here in the US. Because when the visa expires, that's another story, and you do not want to do another story, because you know how I see DV lottery is it's a lifetime opportunity that you're not going to get another one. So if it's a lifetime opportunity, why should you not work on it and make sure that you do the right thing? You know what I mean? Because if you say that it's 2 years, then they will go and look at that paperwork. They'll be like, oh, this one, she wants to go and get her family after 2 years. Of course, they're going to have questions, and those are some of the things that can make them even deny you. And nowadays, it's become very, very, very different. Whereby it's not like before. I've seen, you know, I was looking at our DV lottery and comparing it with 4N, you know, that girl that I hosted in my house. And I was seeing, like, when we were going for our DV lottery, it was a little bit different because, when we were taking our transcript, our Form 4 transcript, we did not have to, give like the verification. Like, they didn't ask us for the verification. But when I asked Anne, she was like, you have to send the verification. Actually, that was one of the things that they asked her for when she went for her interview. They asked for her verification. So every year there's a change. There's a different thing that they will ask for. So you have to make sure that you are following the rules. And by following the rules is by reading. Because if you don't read their requirements, then you're going to miss those little details, which would cost you your visa, and you do not want that. So for this, what I can say is that if it is a DV lottery, guys, if it's a DV lottery, after you get the visa, it's a whole family thing. The people that you did application for, you have, like, it's a group thing. Everybody who was there in the first application, you have to process for everybody at the same time. And then you can go by yourself. It doesn't matter. You go, you come here in the US, and you get a job. Of course, you will get a job. It's very, very easy to get a job. I do remember when Anne came to my house, she came in December and she got a job in January. So that was good. So if you work like you get a job the next month. But it depends on the person who hosts you, because you know, like, there's so many things that have to happen. You have to go and get your paperwork, your social, especially you have to go and get an ID. And another thing that I said, and I'm always going to repeat that, guys, is when you get your DV lottery and you are expecting that you are waiting for your 2NL, the first thing that you should do is to know how to drive. You must know how to drive, guys. Unless you're going to a state where you have to use a bus. If you're coming to a state like Kansas, if you're going to a state like Missouri, you will need to know how to drive. And another thing, what I can say is that it doesn't matter which state that you're going to go to. Know how to drive a car. Because there are so many dynamics involved in cars. You can say, I'm not going to teach myself how to drive unless you want to go to driving school, of which driving school is still going to be another burden, because you have to pay for it. Because what happens is that people have cars here, but you find that insurance dictates how you're going to use your car. Because if now, like my car right now, so I am not able to like teach someone with it because I am worried, like what if we cause an accident? And it's not because I can't cause an accident. I can, but my insurance is gonna question, because when you get your insurance, you write the people who are authorized to drive that car. So if that particular person is not in the name, and God forbid, you know, doing your goodness, something bad happened, and when you went to the insurance, that, you know, they have to investigate before they pay, and they find out that the person who was driving that car was not the authorized person, then there's a problem. And that's why the first thing that you should think about is you must know how to drive a car. Like that one is, it's a must. It's, you know, it's a must that you have to do. You're coming to a first world country, you must know how to drive a car, regardless of what. Even if you won your DV lottery when you were 18 years old, learn how to drive a car. And you know, it really, even if you don't get the driver's license, it's okay, because you're gonna come and live here. But when you know how to drive, when you come here, the only thing that you will need to know is like to drive on the other side, because we drive on the opposite side, and you will need to learn the roads. But at least you know how to drive the car forward. You know what I mean? So that's important. So you've come in and you've gotten your social and everything. You get a job. When you get a job, let's assume like you get the lowest job, because you're not gonna get like a high-tech job or whatever. The lowest job that you can get, maybe you're getting like $14 an hour, you know, you will still make like $800 every 2 weeks. And that money, maybe if you work for 2 months, if you came immediately when you got your visa, you work for 2 months, you will have raised enough money to go and get your family back home. You will have raised enough. Or maybe you can say it's husband and wife who are gonna come in and they're gonna work there, you know, very hard, and then they're gonna go get their kids. But you cannot extend up to like beyond 6 months, because when the visa expires, it expires, and that's another whole story that you have to go through. And you don't want to do that, because it's going to cost you money, it's going to cost you a lot of headache, you know what I mean? So you always have to know the right information, especially if it's DV lottery. Remember that all of you will go for your medical, and that's why you have to even to be prepared financially. All of you will go for your medical, and you will go for your interview, and then when you get the visa, it's when you decide that you're not going to travel together, or you're not going to travel together. But know that there is always a deadline. So I wanted to talk about that, so that the person asking me about that, to know that there is always that deadline. Now that's one. The other one that I'm going to talk about before I get to my job, I'm going for orientation, like I said. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am heading to 10,000 now. We are looking at 10,000. We only have like 300 and something to get to 10,000, and I know you guys are going to support me to reach there. Now let's talk about the education, because I was just flipping through the questions. I haven't looked at all of them, but I'm gonna answer them in different videos. So remember, so this education one always comes up, and remember that the minimum requirement they want is that you have a GED, or you have a Form 4 certificate, high school certificate. They want that. That's important. And remember that there is, and I'm gonna do a video about the job description. I've been promising that, and I haven't been able to do it, but right now I think I can do it, because I have more time to do that, to go to the website and show you what's required. But I want to talk about a job, and that one I think I would it would be better if I show you like where to go. But if you don't have a Form 4 certificate, they will require you to have a job description that qualifies the labor force here in the US, and you have a minimum experience of 2 years. So that one gets tricky, and that's why I was saying, if you really do not have, you don't have that education, you can go off of your spouse. You know, you can go off of your spouse. Another thing is that if let's assume like it's a person, and they have parents, and they won the DV lottery, and they came here. When you are a permanent resident, they always send you letters that you can apply for your family. It can take more time, but the moment you become a citizen, you can file for your parent, your direct parent, and you file for them, and you sponsor them, and they come and live here as permanent residents. They get paperwork and everything. You can do that. So those are some of the things, especially for those people who are parents, who are living in Africa. So you can do that. So those are some of the things, or some of the, especially if your child has come to the US and they came with a DV lottery, it's you know, that's a gateway whereby they can file for you when they have become a permanent residents, or when they are a US citizen. But it's good to wait until you are a US citizen, because when you are a US citizen, it's a little bit faster for them to do the processing for you. So guys, I hope that I have talked about 2 things. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to type there, and we're going to talk about them as we go. So I have reached my job, and I am going to see you in another video. Thank you, and God bless you.